All right, look, guys, real estate, here's the problem you're going to have, though. When you look at growth prospects for housing that's taken place, the numbers do not support that we are even close to a housing recovery. What we saw in, obviously, the break from 2009 with the implosion. But going forward, there's nothing to support that you're going to see the growth that everybody keeps telling us about. You have a millennial generation that's clearly in debt. You have a debt-to-income ratio that's continuing to rise for Americans. People just don't have the cash right now to go out and buy a home. And if you do buy that home, you're now facing higher maintenance costs, higher property taxes. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to go own property right now.
Dani, what do you think? I mean, there's pride of ownership, but does it make financial sense to want to buy a home right now for most people? And will it be the nest egg that has been the case for previous generations in this country?
I think it's impossible to predict. I think as we start to see minority buyers become more prominent, as the Harvard study released a couple of weeks ago is indicating will happen around 2025. That's a long time from now. If you're trying to time the market and flip a property and use it as a get-rich-quick scheme, I think that you're a complete fool. If you're trying to move into something because rental prices in your area are very high, you don't want to rent, you want the tax break while there is still one for home interest, and it just makes financial sense for you for where you're at. I don't think it's overall a blanket foolish decision.
Yeah, let me, Diana, pick up on that, because you have really followed the increases in rental properties very, very closely for us. And rents in many parts of the world and many parts of this country are extremely high.
They are, absolutely. So look, home ownership is not for suckers. Home ownership is just not for everyone. We talk about the millennial generation, about them being more mobile, about them having more debt. They're also younger, they're marrying later, they're having children later. We have to start thinking of home ownership as less of this quick investment where we're going to make a lot of money and more of, look, it's a place to live. Because if we only think of it as an investment, then you're going to say, why buy a car? Because the second you drive a car off the lot, you're losing money on that. You live in a home, you nest in a home, you raise a family in a home, and you pay a mortgage, which is forced savings. That is, you are building savings in that home, even though we had a crash, a historic crash. Home ownership does yield returns in the long term.